Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever stood in a plant shop just wishing you could fill your home with all that gorgeous greenery, but then you remember your furry best friend waiting at home? Well, you are in the right place. Today, we are going to figure out how to build a home that's a paradise for you and a totally safe haven for your pets.
So this is the big question, right? It's the classic struggle for anyone who loves both pets and plants. You see that perfect leafy monstera and immediately that little voice in your head starts, but what if the dog chews it? What if the cat decides it's a new toy? That worry is real, and it stops a lot of us from creating the green space we really want.
Well, I am thrilled to tell you that the answer is a huge, definite yes. You don't have to choose. It's not about sacrifice, it's about being smart. And today, we're going to arm you with all the knowledge you need to do just that.
And I'm not just talking about one or two boring options. The research we're drawing from highlights at least 26 beautiful, non-toxic houseplants that are perfectly safe for your cats and dogs. So think bigger. We're talking about having a whole indoor jungle's worth of amazing, safe choices.
So here's our game plan. We've tackled the dilemma. Next, we're going to jump into the Easy Care All-Stars. Then, we'll look at some options for a pop of color, and after that, we'll go big with some bold, dramatic greenery. And we'll wrap it all up with some super important tips for creating total harmony in your home. Let's get started.
First up, let's kick things off with the Easy Care All-Stars. Okay, these are your go-to plants. They're beautiful, they're safe, and maybe best of all, they're really forgiving. So if you're kind of new to the plant game or, just have a crazy busy life, these are for you. And we have to start with an absolute icon. The spider plant. This guy is legendary for being tough to kill. It's happy in partial shade. You just want to keep the soil moist but not, swimming. It's pretty much the perfect starter plant.
And here's the genius part about the spider plant. Because it has this beautiful cascading look, it's just made for being up high. Think floating shelves or hanging baskets. Not only does that look amazing, but it also naturally keeps the plant out of your pet's immediate reach. That is a total win-win.
Okay, next up is the Chinese money plant. You've definitely seen this one. It's all over social media with those super unique pancake-like leaves. And the care? It's just as simple. Give it some decent light, water it well, and then just forget about it until the soil is totally dry. Easy peasy.
What I love about this plant is that it basically talks to you. When it's thirsty, those cool disc-like leaves will start to droop a little bit. It's a super clear signal that says, hey, I need a drink. There's no guesswork. For a busy pet parent, a plant that tells you what it needs, that is a game changer.
All right, so green is great, but what if you're craving some color? You want some flowers, right? Well, this next section is for anyone who wants to bring those beautiful, vibrant blooms into their home without bringing in any risk for their furry friends. Say hello to the African violet. These are so popular, and for good reason. You get those stunning pet-safe flowers. Now, their care is a little quirky. They like to be watered from the bottom, so their leaves stay dry. But once you get the hang of it, it's really no big deal.
And here's their real superpower. Most flowering plants are divas. They need tons and tons of bright, direct sun to bloom. Not African violets. They can actually flower in lower light conditions, which means you can have that pop of color in almost any corner of your house.
And for a little touch of elegance, you can't beat an orchid. It surprises a lot of people to learn that these gorgeous, exotic flowers are non-toxic to pets. They like partial shade and, just like the money plant, they want to dry out between waterings. So they look high maintenance, but they're surprisingly chill.
Okay, time to go big. Let's talk about the showstoppers, the plants that make a real statement. If you're looking for that huge, dramatic plant that becomes the centerpiece of a room, but is still 100% safe for your pets, this is for you.
First on the list, the banana tree. And yes, you can actually grow one of these indoors. With those giant leaves, it brings such an amazing tropical vibe to a room. And, as you'd probably guess, it loves a lot of sun and needs to be kept consistently moist. So, find a nice bright spot and you're golden.
And if you need any more proof that this plant is safe, get this. In some parts of the world, people actually use the leaves to wrap and serve food on. How cool is that? If it's safe enough to be on our dinner plates, you can be pretty confident it's safe for a curious dog or cat.
Another amazing large option is the areca palm. Sometimes people call it the butterfly palm. It's got these beautiful feathery fronds that just make any space feel like a tropical getaway. It's pretty flexible with light and basically just wants its soil to stay mostly moist.
Now here's a little pro tip that can make a huge difference with this palm.
The Erica palm can be a bit sensitive to the fluoride that's sometimes in our tap water. So a pro move is to use distilled water or even rainwater if you can collect it. It'll help keep those gorgeous fronds from getting brown tips.
Okay, so picking the right plant is obviously step one, but to really create a home where everyone, furry or leafy, can thrive, we need to cover a few final, really important tips. This is about creating a whole system for safety. So it's really 3 key things. First off, be smart about where you put your plants. Use those high shelves and hanging baskets we talked about. Second, don't forget about fertilizer. Even a safe plant can be a problem if it's sitting in toxic chemicals, so always go for pet-safe natural options. And finally, the golden rule. If you are ever in doubt about a plant, you have to check a reliable source.
And that reliable source, your #1 go-to, should be the ASPCA. Their website has a massive searchable database of plants. You can just type in the name of a plant and it will tell you straight up if it's toxic to dogs, cats, or even horses. Seriously, bookmark this site. It is an absolutely essential tool. All right, let's bust a really common myth. Succulents. They are everywhere, they're super popular, pretty easy to care for, and a lot of people just assume they must all be safe for pets. But is that really the case?
And the answer is a hard no. This is so important to remember. Sure, lots of common ones like Haworthia or Extravaria are totally fine, but others like the jade plant or aloe vera are toxic. So the big takeaway here is that succulent isn't specific enough. You have to do your homework on the exact type of plant you're bringing into your home. So there you have it, a whole world of stunning, easy care, and dramatic plants that can live in perfect harmony with your pets. You're not stuck worrying anymore, you're empowered with knowledge and a ton of great options. So the only real question left is, which room are you going to greenify first?